it's Rachel from A Mother Far From Home. Today I want to talk about how to handle picky eating. The first way is to get rid of a zero-sum mindset. It is not you win or lose. Everything's good if they eat it all, everything's bad if they don't. If there's any kind of fighting at the dinner table, nobody's a winner. Nobody wants miserable dinner table time. So get rid of the idea that they have to eat every single thing that you have done or something bad is going on. The second way to handle picky eating is to realize your toddler is not going to starve themselves. Humans are built with this innate sense of survival. We want to survive. If they're hungry, they're going to eat. If they are tired, they're eventually going to sleep, right? So you don't need to worry that if they don't eat all 13 carrot sticks, that this is like the pediatrician's going to report you to the child services, right? If your child's hungry, they're going to eat. So if you consistently offer good food, wholesome, nutritious food for them at regular intervals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, a snack or two, they're going to eat if they're hungry. So if they don't eat for 1 or 2 meals, this is okay. This is no reason to freak out. If you start to think they have to eat everything I give them, they hardly eat anything, they're not eating this, they're not eating the snack, they're only eating this, you are the one that's getting stressed. Then you're bringing that stress to the table situation, and they're picking up on the stress, and they're like, I'm getting all kinds of attention right now. I'm not even hungry, but I'm going to sit here, I'm going to make a big deal about this, You don't need to do that. It's not a win or lose. The third way, and not everybody agrees with this, but this is my favorite, is a 2-option approach with the meal that you have made or prepared. They can take it, or they can leave it. So they can eat it if they want to, or they don't have to. But there is no the third option, which is to have something else that you haven't made, is not up for discussion. So they can take it or they can leave it. No drama. You don't have to say it with an attitude. This is not a. This is just what I made, honey. It's good for you. I think you would like it if you tried it, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But this is all there is. That is often enough to pull them back so that they just say, all right, I'll eat it, I'm hungry. Okay, so you don't want to get into a power struggle, which leads us to the fourth way, which is don't bring out their counter will. Kids, everyone really, but kids particularly have something called a counter will, and it's when you're trying to force them to do something and they feel totally forced, they'll put up a wall or put on the brakes and fight back. They will die on this hill of not eating this cheese stick. I'm not going to eat it. I'm going to make the biggest deal. I'm going to go for 12 hours and not eat anything because I'm not going to eat this cheese stick. This is the counter will. You don't need to enforce it. You don't need to try to force them to do something on their plate, because remember, if they're hungry, they're going to eat. And if you get in the consistent habit of not going into these games, then they're going to play less games because it's not going to get them anywhere. The fifth way is small portion sizes. Often if a child sees a big amount of food on their plate, it's a bit daunting, and if they're not super hungry and nothing looks like chocolate cake, then maybe they're like, I don't want, it feels like a big job. If you put smaller portion sizes, then it feels like, hey, this isn't very much food. Am I going to get to eat all of it? Am I going to get to finish all of it? And then you might find they eat more and want more. I have found with my kids that if they see that there's only a little bit of food, they get a little nervous, like that's all they're going to get. So they'll eat it all and then ask for more. The same meal, if I'd have given them twice the portion size, they might have fussed and complained about it. So don't overplate their plate. Rethink, and I'm not saying everybody has to do this, everybody, different strokes for different folks, but rethink the finish your whole plate or you have to take 3-bite rule. Because ultimately the goal is we want our children to eat healthy, have the nutrition they need, and for us to have good meal times together, right? So having a you have to finish everything rule just means that you have to enforce it all the time, which is tedious and makes for power struggles. And if you don't enforce it, then they don't follow it and don't want to do it.